I'm going to attempt to make a video about how to work on these JD-800 keyboards. Maybe fill in some of the gaps that aren't on some of the other videos out there. What I have is a JD-800 here that works fairly well, but it's got a couple of keys like this B flat here that gets stuck. You can free it, but 5 minutes later it'll be stuck again. Same with that one. Plus some of the keys don't really sound right when you push on them. Over here I've got a keyboard with all the keys off of it, but it's got a real nice bumper strip along here. It doesn't have the red glue problem as far as the bumper strip, but this screen contact board got messed up on it, so only about 5 of the keys are working on it. So what I'm going to attempt to do is take the green contact strip from this one and put it on this one and put all the keys back on and see if it works. Is it worth doing all that for maybe 5 keys that are sticky? I don't know. I'm going to find out. May end up regretting the whole thing. Okay, so I've got the keyboard open here, and I've already got the screws out of the keyboard. There's 5 black ones on bottom, and then the 6 gold ones that go along here. First thing we want to do is take the strip that goes to the main board here off. That way we can take the keyboard out, work on it away from the rest of the synthesizer. So to get this ribbon cable out, it's kind of weird. It doesn't come out with a connector. You just gently work it straight out, and it's just a solid cable like that. And I put a little mark on the left here to make sure I got it back. Make sure I put that mark on the left side when I put it back together. Then after you get that out, then that'll allow you to just remove the keyboard out of the case so you can work on it separately. Okay, so the first thing you do is pry up these little black rails that run all the way down the keyboard. So if you don't, you can't get the keys out. So there's about 5 or 6 of those all along the keyboard here. There's one at the end's a little longer, but I think that's the only one. It's a little bit different. Okay, we've got all the black strips off. Now I need to take all the keys off. Now they all have a little number on them, each key, and I previously went through and wrote all those down so I know where they go again, so I don't have to keep them in order. I'm just going to throw them all into one big bag. The way you get the keys off now is just to push them from the back this way, and they just pop right out. And you have to get the white ones out before you can get these black ones out. Now underneath each key is a spring. It's 1 spring per key. So you need to save those. I'm just going to put them in a Dixie cup here. I think all of them will fit in 1 cup, just as long as you don't knock the cup off of your workbench. Should be okay. So I'm going to continue to do that and take all the keys off of this keyboard. Got all the keys off, and you can see some of the problems caused by this red glue. See, it gets on these bumper strips here, and that's what causes the sticky keys, and sometimes it even drips down and gets on this red one underneath, so either way it can mess you up. Now the green contact strip looks okay, and I know it works. The only thing holding that contact strip down is these gray bumper strips here, which I'm going to take off next. Now they're all in good condition at the moment. Hopefully they still will be by the time I get them off. You have to push out these little rubber nipples here, and in case one of them breaks, I bought they still sell these things. You can still get those here and there. And by the way, it's February 2015. I called Roland a week or two ago, asked him about this strip. They still have it for sale right now for about $100. But I thought I'd try this first, see if I could get it to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my fingernails to pinch down on these, kind of push them through from the bottom, while simultaneously pulling up from the top, kind of peeling them back. They're real easy to break, so we'll see how it goes. So you can see how that's going there. Okay, I'm going to take this ribbon connector off. This is the underside of the keyboard, because I need to get to these gray strips on here. So take it off just like took off the strip on the main board. Pull them out like that. Got all the gray strips off, and I only broke one of those little spikes off, which I think is pretty good. Actually went along and numbered these, so I knew which one goes where when I'm putting them back on. Put a little number here. Okay, so now I've got to try to get out these little pins here. What I'm going to do is use this screwdriver to poke the pin from the other side, and then see if I can turn it back over and pull it out. Okay, so it looks like that worked. I pushed the pin from the bottom, and I'm going to be able to lift these out of here maybe. Okay. Okay, well, it turns out that this is connected. This is connected here. I think my other one is just taped on at this spot. So anyway, now it's a little bit of tape on there, I think. Otherwise, it's just a matter of lifting the thing up and pulling it off. There's a little bit of tape at the end down there. metal board has little dimples on here that line up with holes in the green board. So there's another one right here. So lift the green board up and probably line it up down here at the end. Yeah, there's one right here. So I'll put it on that one, make sure all these other ones are lined up on all the way down. Okay, now that it's on and lined up, I'm going to see if I can get this little brace back on. Okay, so that's lined up and on there. Now I'll plug these cables back in. And now I'll turn it over and I'll put these gray contact strips back on. I've seen on the internet where they want you to use a paper clip to push through here, but I think that would be harmful to it, so I'm just going to push through with one hand and pull through on the other side, see if I can get them all in. Realizing now I should have called my hand model, so I'm just going to have to do it the way it is. So what I ended up doing is just breaking off the end of a toothpick and flattening it out. Push these down in here. Actually seems to be working okay, so may just continue to use that to put these strips back in. And then as you work from the left to the right, this new one you put in will overlap the other one right here. Okay, I've got all the gray strips in with all the spikes pointing through. Turns out that the toothpick idea worked good if it was a new strip, but if it's one of the older ones you're reusing, it's better to push it through and pull it through from the other side. You just have to put the keys back in by reversing the previous procedure. Now these are supposed to have a little bit of grease in them. These still do from when I pulled them out before, but I'll just do these a few at a time. Just lay them in there, and sometimes they get bent up a little bit. You can bend them back into shape. I think these are still sold on the internet. Here. Okay, gonna start putting keys back in. I found the first 3 keys. These black keys, they do have different numbers on them. I don't know why, because they all look alike to me, but I'm gonna put the black one in first and put the white keys around it. So you hook it down here, then push it back towards the back, and then come back like that. Same with the other 2. So just keep doing that all the way down. Okay, so I've got the keyboard back in. All I need to do is hook up that ribbon cable again. Okay, now comes the moment of truth. So, looks like miraculously it worked. And those keys work again. All the keys feel good. So beautiful. Makes me want to cry.